Aloha kako. E nā pua o Hawaii nei, ka ohu o ka alasito, a.k.a. Kanakapreneur, a.k.a. Kale, depending on what region you're living in for your monetary mana'o of the day. Aloha kako. It's getting down to the wire, people. We're getting to the end of the year. One more day left. One more full day left of the year 2024 going into 2025. What are your goals you got? You got any goals? Huh? As always, can you please like and subscribe my channel? I really am, I'm just keep on going. Hopefully I can build more. I will build more followers. I will build more people. I just got to keep persevering, But, like and subscribe. Comment down below. What kind of goals do you have? Because I'm telling you, man, if you see my previous videos, goals is how you get things started. That's like the first step, Figuring out what you want to do. No, actually, figuring out that you need to change. And then once you know you need to change, then you got to start sitting down, having a good conversation with yourself and loved ones, and putting down some goals that are very good for your future, And then, just as much goals as you want. There's no limit to it. There's no like concrete set in stone rules to this where you cannot change your goals or you cannot add on another goal or whatever. But one thing that I don't like is that if you go in for a goal and then you find out that it's hard and then you quit, then you change it. I remember Arnold Schwarzenegger said that he doesn't like plan Bs. He only likes plan A's because plan B's is the thing you're going to fall back to if you can't do it. So there's no can't, just do. Another story is the burn the boats kind of it's a long story, but pretty much in a nutshell, these group of guys or this group of people went over to this overseas to this other place via boats back in the days, and they knew that their only chance was just to go over there and conquer. And so what did they do? They burnt all the boats, so there's no going back. We're either going to conquer or we're going to die. So when you decide you want to change, don't fall back. Don't look at to plan B's like what happens if I fail. Mindset. Remember I tell you mindset is everything. You got to say you're going to go in there and you're going to kill it. You're going to do it. You need to declare things that you want to do. You need to declare goals. You need to make it very specific as if you're talking to a genie. You need to put down dates of when you're planning on doing that because that lights a fire on your ass to start getting things working. Once you write these things down, once you start keep persevering through all these things, then action is what needs to be taken. You can't just analysis paralysis, right? Doing all these things will help your brain and your conscious and your subconscious start opening doors and trying to find reasons and ways that you can make this stuff happen. So what are your goals? What are some things you want to change? Financially, this is a financial talk. I always love to talk about monetary stuff. Talking about wealth and health, that's usually one of those things they say, wealth and health. I mean, they damn near rhyme. But I would say my goals always was to increase my wealth. And I think over the course of 5 years or so, I've been successfully doing that. I was able to, with the help of Julia, we were able to purchase a house. We became debt free. Besides the house, we don't have any car payments. We don't have any loans. We don't have any student loans. We have credit card bills, but it's just only like regular utilities and stuff that we can easily cover. We have an emergency fund. We're properly protected, right? We have life insurance just in case anything happens to us. So we know that all of anything left over, like our mortgage, for example, is taken care of. It'll be paid off. And then we have a trust to protect all that stuff, right? We're investing. We do Robinhood. I'm investing in myself. I have businesses, like all these things are stuff that involves in a wealth category, which I feel like is kind of good. How everybody says like exactly now, like, oh man, the year went by so fast, right? How many times have you said that? When did you start saying that? Like maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago? So now you're saying it the 10th time, the 6th time, the 5th time. What have you produced? What have you produced that would make that statement worth its while? How have you elevated yourself? How have you become better 5 years down the line, 6 years down the line? What have you done? Have you even looked over your accomplishments? Do you have any accomplishments? Or are you still working the same dead-end job? Are you still living at the same place that you hate? Are you still with that other half that you kind of are over already and nothing's really blossoming from that relationship? Have you not done anything that you wanted to do in your life, like bucket list stuff? Like if you're in that second part of life, then you're not wanting to elevate yourself. Like you can only blame yourself. Nobody's going to come to save you. And nobody's going to come to elevate you except for yourself. There can be people over there that will give you a kind gesture or a kind word and stuff, but realistically, you are the one that needs to elevate yourself. You need to start elevating your mind, elevating your knowledge, elevating your education, and using it to elevate yourself. That's what it's all about, people. Nobody's going to do it. If you're sitting down waiting for handouts, what makes you any different from homeless people, right? How many times, and not everybody's like this, obviously, but majority of people are quick to give their opinions of how to fix homelessness, for example, right? Why don't they just go and get a job? Or why don't they do this and why don't they do that? Well, it's the same damn thing for you. If you're not elevating your life and your life is still the same boring, dead end, living paycheck to paycheck, barely surviving life, then what are you waiting for? You waiting for somebody to give you handouts? You waiting for the government to do something for you? You waiting for the interest rates to drop? You waiting for the government to forgive your college debt? You know what I mean? You're waiting for some rich man or rich woman to come and save you and pay off all your bills and get you out of debt? It doesn't work that way. You're going to be waiting forever, and the next thing you know, 5 years down the line from today, like how it was 5 years from last year's, you're still going to be in the same place, but probably worse off with more debt, right? Not enough wealth will provide you less options. So if you're poor, you're not going to have enough options. That means you're only going to be able to have whatever you can afford. I mean, what is the word? You're going to have to be satisfied with whatever you get, which is probably going to be in a poor life, because I know I've been there before, is unhealthy food, no medical insurance, therefore, and if you're going to be working a lot to try to survive, that means you're going to be only focusing more on work. That means you're depriving other areas of your life, like family time, health time, time for yourself, to try to debrief your brain, to relieve stress, and to get your mind off of all that. You're going to do other things that are mind altering, like drink, smoke cigarettes, maybe drugs, who knows, porn, whatever, just to disconnect your brain. And all that is just a downward spiral, and it's not going to help you, all because you don't have enough wealth. Wealth is important, very, very important. And I was reading today because I have a few goals. Since we're talking about goals, right? You're probably thinking oh, what's your goals? You talk shit all this time. What's your goals? Okay, I'll give you one big thing, but there's multiple things that connect to it. One thing is I want to get healthier. So remember I talked about wealth over health? Now I'm going to I feel like my wealth is good. I'm always learning, but I learned more skills 5 years to today. This is my future self from 5 years past, right? So as my future self, I feel like I've learned a lot of new skills and experiences that I can put wealth on the back burner now and then put health in the forefront. So I want to use what I learned in my wealth field to better my health field. And that's stuff like educating myself, talking to people that are in a realm that I like to be like. Like if there's people that are health, like for example, my father, he got back into, or he started keto. I did keto before, but he started keto and he's showing great results. So it's getting me to want to go back into keto, which is great. And it's going to be more stronger this time. I will say that there's parts of me that got cocky that thought, oh, I did keto before. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need help. But, my 5 years down the line, I learned new stuff and I learned to be more humble, knowing that I do need help. So I ask him, I see what is his program and see all of his stuff, and then I YouTube, right? I get a lot of information that I can to help me out, and then I even I'm willing to invest in myself by paying for stuff. Like for example, I put money down for this app that's on my phone called Zero, no affiliation. I'm not getting paid by them, but it's an intermittent fasting app, which I used to do as well too, but it's like a coach, you know what I mean? Like it has a timer so it knows how much time I have, so I can definitely log it down. It has other things on there that are really helpful, like you can log in your mindset, your feelings, you write down how much sleep you have, you write down your activity. In fact, it connects to your phone so you can sync in all of your movements that you do with that, so it logs down how much movements you do. It logs down how much time you've been in the eating phase versus the fasting phase, you know? So all of this stuff is all umbrellaed under health. Intermittent fasting, keto diet. Because I have a lot of adipose tissue, aka fat. So being in keto, yeah, I know the effects, the whole ketosis on the kidneys, all that stuff like that. Yeah, I understand. But it just makes sense that carbs and sugars are like the big killers of Americans nowadays. You know, like sugars and stuff, like they're everywhere. So if it's up to me, which it is up to me because I'm the one making my own decisions, right? Then I'm going to go and do keto because I've seen results before, and even my doctor said I'm glad, and it's good to be on it. Intermittent fasting, which helps with that to drop insulin levels, which is sugar in your bloodstream, right? Like I learned that insulin or sugars is a thing that locks up fat burning. When you can drop your insulin levels and your glucose levels, which is sugar, then now you're deprived of sugar or carbs as your main source of energy, and then it's going to start using fats as your new source of energy. And so your body's going to get used to burning fat, and that's how you lose weight. Stay hydrated, move around, all this stuff is all an inspiration off of health. But I learned all of these techniques through learning about wealth. That's why I'm just so now I understand. It's going to happen. That's my goal. I know everybody says to be healthy and stuff like that. Yeah, that's all good and fine. I'm just letting you know, but I'm going to try my best to not overly expose my tactics of what I'm going to do, because I've also read too that doing things like that, people tend to, give you claps, hand claps, and they congratulate you and stuff like that. Mentally, sometimes that can be the thing that's like, ooh, I got praise for what I did. Now I don't need to be as hard on myself as before because everybody's praising me for it. So, not saying that you guys are doing that, but I take that to heart too, because I learned about that. And it makes sense, because that's probably why I faltered before and not follow through at all these my previous diets that I was on. Another big thing too, another big thing that I'm reading about in this book called Quit Drinking Without Willpower is, and I found this book through a Joe Rogan podcast, where this one lady was trying to have her mom quit drinking, and all she did was got her this book, and then she just quit drinking. So I'm reading it, and I'm in chapter 9 now, and it's a really, really good book. Like, man, it's so much things that I learned about alcohol that are really, we all know this. Alcohol's not very healthy for the body. And it costs a lot of money. And depending on the severity of how much you ingest alcohol, it can really fuck up your family. Your money, your family, your health. There's not really any good benefits of all of it. And so, but people use that as their form of disconnecting, right? Like, oh, I had a hard day. I could really use a drink because of this stressor that was in my life, right? And so they see that as a thing that's it feels good. But realistically, the only feel-good part is just that first drink. After that, everything, you don't have that feel-good anymore, just like any drug. And then another part of that too is because addicts, for example, let's just call it what it is, addicts to alcohol, and we can use the same thing for finances and money, is that they see that as like their savior, right? They see that addiction as their savior to their shitty life or their shittiness in their life. And if they're to give that up for someone or something, then it's almost like they're giving up their toy, right? They're sacrificing. And that's where the oversensitizing of themselves come in, where they feel like, they act like, we act like children. Like whenever, like I remember when Julia was telling me, maybe we should kind of cut back on drinking. And I was like, what? Wait a minute, what are you talking about? I'm not a alcoholic, or you know what I mean? I give all excuses. And the book says all that. The book says every excuse that I probably ever thought in my head. And I can't believe I'm admitting this to everybody. But fuck it, whatever, bro. I'm in my 40s. Who gives a shit, right? It's like we're going into a new year. We're not getting younger. It's Paul already to be worried about what other people think, because they really don't give a shit about me. And I don't give a shit about them. And those who give a shit about me, I give a shit about them. You know what I mean? So I don't have to worry. But yeah, so like all of this excuses, all this stuff was all said in the book, and it's really helping me to realize that I really don't need alcohol. I really don't need alcohol. And if alcohol, in my mind makes me think, with alcohol I look cool at the party, or people like me, or I like to be a Mr. Aloha and stuff like that, right? And alcohol is the one that helps me do that, but realistically, it doesn't. It doesn't help me do that. I do that myself. I don't need alcohol to do that, but I brainwash my mind to think that I do. So that's good. It's all about realizing that I'm not sacrificing anything. There's nothing there that needs to be needed with alcohol. So all in all, that's my main goals, is to be alcohol free, and be alcohol free all the way to June. Let's just put June out there, or maybe even to my wedding, which is in April. We'll see. The idea is that there's a deadline. When I make the deadline, and then I have a choice of whether I want to continue on or not. But to start off, that discipline needs time, and that's what that's going to be. That's also going to be for being disciplined to stay healthy, to eat healthy, and to work out more. It's not as simple as saying, I want to, we all said it for our New Year's resolution. I want to be more healthier. I want to lose weight. You know what I mean? Like, that's super general. And how many of you have stuck to that resolution? Probably not probably a very, very small amount of people. It's a common thing with New Year's resolutions, that it's not followed through. Maybe because you're not being very specific in your goals. Like, I want to lose weight. That means nothing. How about, I want to lose X amount of pounds by this date, and I'm going to do this to make that happen. Be more specific. That's the declaration right there. Reverse engineer your process. Like, whatever your goal is, I want to lose 50 pounds. Okay, sounds good. Now let's reverse engineer backwards to see how to today. Like, if you're going to lose 50 pounds in 3 months, then let's reverse engineer to today and see what our next step is to get to that point, to get to the next point, and next thing you know, in 3 months, you've accomplished your goal. Many people don't do that. They don't write out goals, they don't write out a plan, they don't reverse engineer, and they don't follow through or take action. So that's why I want you to do that. I'm going to do it too. Okay? I'm going to eat my own words, because that's the best way to do it. And we'll see what happens. It's going to be great. Think about your future self. I have a future Ohu. I have a future Kanakapreneur that I can't wait to meet. I can't wait to meet them in April. I can't wait to meet them in June. Because, like, that person to me, he's going to look fine. He's going to look very slimmed down. He's going to look more slimmed down in his neck. He's going to be, like, have nicer skin. He's going to be thinner. He's going to have, and then as a thinner person, I've been kind of big my whole life. Like, thinner people have much more options in clothes to wear. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not gonna lie, like, beautiful people get noticed more than non-beautiful people, whatever you want to distinguish that as. So that's who the future Ohu's gonna be. He's going to be much more healthier. He's going to have better habits. More successful than now. I'm successful now, but I want to be more successful. Who is your future you? What do they look like? When are you planning on meeting them? Have you even thought about a future you? Because that's what every declaration is. Once you create a declaration to do something, you are creating a future you. You never thought about that, huh? That's just the most recent thing that I've been really throwing around in my brain is like every time you make a promise, every time you make a declaration to do something that's going to benefit you, you are creating a future you. So when are you going to meet that person? When you say I'm gonna be 30 pounds lighter by June 1st, boom, future you is just created. They're waiting for you. They're at that point, June 1st, where you're gonna meet up with them. Boom. What are they gonna look like? Are they gonna look like you, or are they gonna look like the one you envision them to be? Think about that. I think that's another reason why a lot of people nowadays don't plan for the future. They don't budget, they don't finances, because you guys don't see a future you. You don't know that there is a future you out there, but you don't want to recognize them. So therefore you live in the now. And the now is you. That's who you are. Dead end job, living paycheck to paycheck, unhealthy, create a future you. Think about that. Write everything down, man. Get a journal. And it's not a dumb thing. It's a beautiful thing. Writing stuff down. I have like choke journals. I have like 10 plus journals that I write down all my crazy ideas and all my envisions and for the future and all of my any plans that I have. I write it all down because the percentages get higher to be successful when you write it down. Trust me, it works. I love it. 2025 is going to be beautiful. By the way, I'm Chinese. I don't know how many of you are Chinese or even believe in Chinese astrology, right? I'm a metal rooster. The year of the snake's coming up. That too can help you. I would suggest you look up your horoscopes. Whatever your sign is, it wouldn't help to get some astrological and karma help. You know what I mean? Like, it gives you a kind of like a peek, a snapshot into your future of what's going to happen. That's also a future you. If they say your relationships are going to be good, if it says your money's going to be good, or your businesses, or maybe you need to focus on health, or maybe you got to do this. It's a snapshot into your future, which should get your brain thinking, okay, I should start focusing on my health. Okay, it says my health is not going to be too good. Or, all right, my future looks good in finances. If I just keep doing what I'm doing and keep building connections, keep reaching out to people, keep building my business, investing and whatnot, then it says I want to get more money. You know what I mean? Like, just keep doing it. So that's one other thing I like to do too. Why not? I mean, it's all around the cosmos, the karmas, all that stuff. Whether you believe in it or not, you're in it. Manifesting, all that stuff is real. It's super real. And it's powerful. So look into that. Believe in it. What are your goals? When are you going to get your goals accomplished? Put a date down. Reverse engineer of what your plans are going to be. From that date, you want the goal to be done, to today. What are you going to do every day? Like if you're going to buy, I don't know, if you're going to have 10 houses by 2027, right? December 2027, what are you going to do every month to get to that? What are you going to do every year to get to that? What are you going to do every week to get to that? How many houses you need to buy per year to get to that goal? Reverse engineer it all the way back. Talk to people. Talk to people a lot, people. Don't be afraid to talk to people. And if people don't want to talk to you about that, like how a lot of people don't want to talk to me about finances in my life, that's okay. It's okay. To me, I feel like I need to say something out loud. One, because everybody knows where I'm coming from, so there's no misconceptions, no misinterpretations. And two, I never know if the person right next to me, is feeling the same thing too, because they've been also brainwashed to not talk about it, but they want to talk about it, but they're afraid, So I will come out and ice break and say what I like, because if I can connect with somebody that likes the same thing too, boom, connections are made. And beautiful things happen when connections are made. All right, people. I love you all. I believe in you. Let's make 2025 great. I'll try to see if I can jump on again tomorrow. But if not, Happy New Year to every single one of you. It's time to shed off the skin. Hey, shed off the skin. It's year of the snake. Shed the old skin. Growth, right? Let's start anew. Let's do it. We can totally do it. Ka'ohu o ka'ala, aka Kanakapreneur, aka KO, depending what region you're living in, for your monetary mana'o of the day. Haoli makahiki ho. Kung hi fa joy. Aloha.